Hey guys, we are midway through the hackathon and I thought I record this session to help you think through where you are and where you need to go to. So we probably have about 2 weeks to the end, to the finishing line. So I think you're almost there. So let me share my screen with you. Screen 2, I believe. Awesome. So at this point, you should have your architecture more or less sketched out, identified, and settled on. Maybe not entirely, maybe 75%, which is good enough. It'll get you started. And as you implement, you may have to go back and modify bits and pieces of the architecture, and that's absolutely fine. In terms of implementation, hopefully you have kicked off some implementation, maybe about 25%, more than 25% done, more than a quarter of the way done. And I'm sure towards the end, you have to adjust and scope things down. Or if you have more than enough time, then you add on some of the original thoughts that you may have to implement. Some tips for you at this point of the hackathon. Simplify your parties. If you feel like you're running out of time, which hopefully you won't, simplify it down to 2 parties, right? If you have originally thought of using an observer or having 2 signatories, don't. Then just start with just 2 parties, and 1 person is a signatory, and that will simplify your scenario. And then see if you can pull it off, and then with the time that you have left, think about implementing 2 signatories or 1 observer or more than 1 party, more than 2 parties. And also you may want to simplify your choice. Now, if your logic is so complex that it requires necessarily complex, that it requires multiple steps, try to get to the final step that kicks off and triggers the archival of a contract or the creation of a contract. So you build backwards, right? So simplify your choice to maybe just an approve. Comment out the review, comment out the pre-approvals. Go for the approve, the green light that starts the entry of a new data into the ledger. Use the navigator as a front end. That comes for free. And look at some of the videos that we have on Daml 101, which will give you some clues on how to make use of the navigator. And use the sandbox as a ledger. Start with the sandbox, and then once you get that flow working, that data is showing correctly in the sandbox output, you are in very, very good shape. So in terms of the demo, think about spending about a minute to talk about your problem space. Suppose you are doing something in the agricultural space, and then you want to describe it very quickly because not all the judges will be familiar with all the industries. So just tell them very quickly that in the, for example, in the agricultural space, it's very difficult to keep track of counterfeit products, or it's hard to measure how the quality of certain foods or the certification of certain tests. Just describe it in the 60 seconds, just to give them a high level idea. And then narrow it down within that problem space to one thing that you want to focus on. And so, for example, if you are doing an agricultural, say, farm to plate kind of solution, tell them that this is the story, but we're going to focus on part A out of 5 parts. We're going to focus on part A and solve that one with Daml, right? Because you want to be able to demonstrate a full flow and how Daml is applied to that specific thing, with the potential of it being applied by extension. And always at the end of the demo, and this is much later, and I'll remind you again towards in the last week, always end with a perspective look, a perspective plan on, now that we got this, we proved that it works. The next part, I will likely extend this to include the various government agencies to approve the test. I will approve inspection at this stage. You end with a perspective. It's impossible to create a full-fledged production ready, solution in 6 weeks, right? Things need to be, we need more time for that. But always end with a prospective note so that there's this runway and this potential that this project will exhibit. Okay, and so that's it. I want to just give a very quick advice on where you are and where we are. And I'll be sending out another checklist so that you can measure your progress against that checklist. And again, do not hesitate to reach out to me to schedule one-on-one mentoring time. Okay, good luck and see you soon. Bye-bye.